Your thoughts?
What? What? Who?
Nice.
Just loving you.
9:04, it's a Thursday. The last Thursday of the month belongs to all of you, us, the Fence Post, and anyone that tunes into this show. CJ Nasello, it's our daily show right here on RiverBender.com, Roku TV, anywhere, everywhere. You guys get this show. Thanks for keeping the show growing. Hey, we got some breaking news. We got merch, okay? Before I tell you who's coming on the show, a sales plug. Look at this new Daily Show shirt. You can get this right now by going to store.RiverBender.com, our daily show with CJ Nasello. Then on the back, Content Machine. Love the shirt. Hey, you can get that by going to store.RiverBender.com. I'd appreciate it very much. Hey, here's who's coming down the pipeline on the show. Next couple of hours here, we're going to be talking to Lee Cox and Company and Theater Thursday because it is the last Thursday of the month. And I'm excited to get the latest from Making God Laugh and some updates coming to our Little Theater and Staple in the community. Then around 10:10, we're going to be talking... Oh, get over here. We're going to be talking to Flora Van Koten for a very interesting discussion on Animals Have Souls. We're going to continue that conversation. Then the superintendent of Alton Community Unit School District number 11, Elaine Kane, she joins me at 10:35 for a very detailed conversation on some of the things that are happening in the school district, some things that you probably have not heard of in new additions and new infrastructure at the school district. So we have a great conversation. She sat down with me yesterday, and we're going to air that for you today. Live, the premiere exclusive interview at 10:30. All that happens in the next 2 hours, but at 9:06, here's what you need to know. Here's what's happening around the Riverbend. Make sure you sign up for that daily email update. You can join myself and 70,000 people that are in the know. A very tragic story yesterday. Ronreco Taylor, affectionately known as Rico, was a familiar face in East Alton, often seen around town at places like Subway and McDonald's. Tragically, Taylor was struck by a southbound Amtrak train on the Union Pacific Railroad tracks near the 100th block of Golding around midnight on Wednesday. Rico, known for the way he walked the street, prompting his friend Woody Peterson to help him use the sidewalks. Despite facing homelessness, Taylor's generosity was evident in his acts of kindness, like bringing a birthday gift for Woody Peterson's daughter. His untimely death has left a void in the community with so many people reacting to the tragic news, but cherished memories and stories from friends like Woody Peterson highlight Rico's enduring spirit. Also in the news today, the Godfrey Fire Department responded to a serious crash involving a motorcycle and vehicle at the intersection of Godfrey Road and Stamper Lane last night. Firefighters discovered a rider with severe injuries, prompting the summoning of a medical helicopter. The rider was taken to Alton Memorial Hospital and later airlifted to a hospital in St. Louis for further treatment. Madison County Sheriff's Office requested assistance from the Illinois State Police Crash Reconstruction Team to investigate the crash. Godfrey Road remained closed in both directions. Authorities have not yet released further details, but we will keep you updated once we get them. An Alton man, DeMarcus L. Freeman, 43 years of age, with a history of criminal activity, now faces 4 Class X felonies following a search of his home. Authorities discovered multiple controlled substances and a firearm in his possession. Freeman has been charged with armed habitual criminal, armed violence, and possession with intent to deliver both controlled substances and methamphetamine. He was found with a Loracin I could have pronounced that wrong. My apologies if I did. 9mm handgun, which he is prohibited from possessing as a convicted felon. Officers also found 15 grams of cocaine and methamphetamine and 1 to 15 grams of fentanyl. Freeman remains in custody at the Madison County Jail. After being granted pretrial release twice, a homeless Edwardsville man is now facing new charges following a public assault and battery incident near Dewey's Pizza in Edwardsville. Here's what we know on this. Daniel Vizana, 42, is now charged with aggravated battery and aggravated assault. On the 17th of August, Vizana allegedly threatened to kill an individual while aggressively moving towards him after pushing the same victim in the parking lot. Vizana, who has repeatedly failed to appear in court for other charges, is now detained. His criminal history includes prior property damage, criminal trespass, and domestic assault charges. Vizana currently held in Madison County Jail. Finally in the news this morning, this was a regional story. Ted Drewes Jr., the beloved figure behind St. Louis's iconic frozen custard business, passed away yesterday, Monday, August the 26th, at the age of 96. Drewes dedicated his life to preserving and expanding the family business, which had become a staple in St. Louis. The first shop opened in Florida in 1929, and the Drewes family established their first St. Louis location in 1930. Notable locations at South Grand Boulevard and Chippewa Street have endured, becoming city landmarks. Ted Drewes Jr. contributions ensured the business remains a cherished part of St. Louis culinary landscape, bringing joy to countless customers over the decades along with priceless memories. At 9:10, that's what's happening around the Riverbend. We'll take you over to weather now. The heat advisory is in effect tonight. The heat advisory has been issued at 3:19 until 7 p.m. at least tonight. Heat index values of up to 103 in areas in Madison, Illinois, Monroe, and St. Clair counties in Illinois. In Missouri, Franklin, Jefferson, St. Charles, St. Louis City, and St. Louis counties are going to be under that advisory as well until at least 7 p.m. this evening. The impacts: hot temperatures and high humidity, they cause heat illness. If you don't need to go outside, stay in today. Today, mostly sunny, hot, and humid with a thunderstorm in the area late afternoon. Caution advised if outside for extended periods of time, please don't. And tonight, a thunderstorm in early parts of the evening, potentially. Otherwise, partly cloudy and humid. Humidity right now is at 84%. That is brutal. Right now, it's 81 degrees. It feels like 93 out there. Now, here's where it gets interesting, too. Air quality right now is ranked at good at 50, but grass levels are moderate. The mold levels are low. Ragweed is very high today. So if you're having a little bit of some breathing issues or some sinus stuff, maybe it's the ragweed. Tree levels are low. The UV index is very high. On Thursday, throughout the day, we'll see temperatures reach 95 degrees and drop down to 70 overnight as we head into Friday. We're on Thursday and Friday, both today and tomorrow. They're predicting between a 47 and 55% chance of scattered thunderstorms, so be mindful of that. On Friday, a high of 94 degrees. Man, that'll be warm. A low of 70 with a 55% chance of rain and thunderstorms. On Saturday, a high of 84, a low of 62 with a 60% chance of rain. Nothing in the evening. Perfect time to go see the Alton Jazz and Wine Festival. Jim Manley and company. I'm telling you what, you don't want to miss this. On Sunday, the 1st of September, a high of 85, a low of 57 degrees. No rain in the forecast. And on Monday, as we come back to the week that is, a high of 81 and a low of 58 degrees. We got a cold front coming in, folks. Time to get happy. That's a look at your weather forecast. Call 618-465-4545. This time powered by Tom Lane, your local State Farm agent. And you can also stay up to date and in the know all the time in real time by going to RiverBender.com/weather. Hey, before we take a look at Skycam, let me fill you in. Landmark event, the event of Alton. The Alton Expo. It's coming our way September the 5th through the 8th, and they got a full lineup of great music. You know, it's always awesome when you get to tie in some local great bands and some regional bands as well. You know, from September 5th through the 8th, everybody and all of them come down to the Alton Riverfront, to the Alton Riverfront Amphitheater for, of course, the Expo favorites. We're talking fair food, carnival rides, live music, games, and more. September 5th from 5 to 10 p.m. You can listen to, you can stop by. The gates open at 5. They close at 10. Plus, Polly and the Pocket start playing at 7 p.m. on the 6th of September. On that Friday night from 5 to 11 p.m., Maxa at 5 p.m. is going to be playing music. Then the Dirty Mugs, who are the best, going to be taking the stage at 8 p.m. on Friday, September the 6th. The Expo runs 5 to 11 on Friday. On Saturday, September the 7th, from noon to 11 p.m., you can go to the Alton Amphitheater for the Expo and listen to Almost Famous as they take the stage at 7 p.m. that night. On September the 8th, from 1 to 5 p.m., you can go in on a Sunday, relax, get some carnival food and fair food, go take some rides, listen to some live music from Porch Cafe, who takes the stage at 1. Oh, did I tell you it's free just to go walk around? Yeah, go find something to do and go have fun doing it. Go take a stroll, see why our amphitheater's so beautiful, see why it's so renowned, see why people keep coming back, and see why the Expo is the Alton Expo. You don't want to miss this. For more details, you can go to AltonRiverFrontAmphitheater.com. That's AltonRiverFrontAmphitheater.com. And make sure you're in the know on all things Alton Expo. Before we take a quick break, let's take a look at Skycam and see how we're looking on this Thursday morning on RiverBender.com.
Much harder to come by. I'm waiting in line. Nobody gets too much love anymore. It's as high as a mountain and harder to climb.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trumped. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
Ready for fantastic deals? Head to Village Dispensary, where every day is a celebration. Start your week with 25% off Dog Walker pre-rolls on Monday. Tuesday, enjoy 25% off Divs gummies. On Wednesday, enjoy 30% off Nevada pens. On Thursday, it's 30% off CQ sodas, margaritas, and more. Friday, enjoy 3.5 grams of Megatron by NGW and Cronuts number 4 by Paul Bunyan for $25. Visit VillageDispo.com and shop now.
Life's better when you're under the American Family Insurance roof, because they know your house is home base for their dreams. Whether it's a kid like me aiming for the big leagues, ready, future rocket scientist, or a budding prima ballerina. When you feel totally protected, your family's free to pursue their dreams. She's good.
Let's go.
American Family Insurance.
Get paid to go solar.
We're not solar bros. At Grid, we're solar pros. We explain the process behind solar power so you can make an informed decision. We'll work with you to make owning your power as simple as possible and affordable with zero down financing and payment options. Our only goal is to save you money. Call Grid when you're ready to be independent of the power company.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
You brought the star.
I did. He's a wonderful actor. And you know my gift. I'm a good director and a good actress, but my real talent is I always know when somebody has it. And he has it. I've loved Alex since the minute that I met him. And he's got some new things going and trying to do some startup that I want him to tell all your listeners about, because we don't do that kind of work at the theater. I would love it if we could have more workshops at the theater, but I always get calls about how can I get my kids involved or how can I get acting experience, and I think starting with improv is a wonderful way. Helped me in college. So
Well, there you go. Alex, welcome to the
Trutka,
show.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
What an intro, Lee. That was good. That was
Lee.
see, you got.
Oh,
you
he
can't
could be my other son.
but
See,
you
I
can't
go around
keep-
collecting sons.
You can't one up me like that on my own show.
I love you.
I'm
I
just
love
kidding.
you.
Alex, man, good to have you in studio.
Thank you.
So we've talked about this before. Those youth acting classes that people just dive onto, and but you guys are limited on resources. And Alex to come in and do something a little bit different. That's exciting. Fill me in on what you're working on, man.
Yeah, well, coming from Chicago, originally born and raised here,
Cool.
just over in Troy. My parents are over in Troy. Graduated from SIUE many moons ago, 2009, if you can remember that year. After that, moved up to Chicago because I had gotten this bug through a 1 month long improvisation class through the theater department at SIUE. And I was like, being an on-air broadcaster, I was on a track for mass communications. And I said, this theater stuff, because I had not done theater before, improv is interesting. You can create, you can be characters, there's no red tape of like having to report the facts. You can make stuff up. That got me up to Chicago. 13, 14, 15 years of improvising in Chicago. My fiance now is back down here at SIUE.
Yes.
And through all that to say, I do think improv is something that younger kids or people of all ages, 11 to 99, I say, can use that the skills.
Well, the thing is, though, I think right now, especially with the younger generations, the kids, there's not a lot of creative thinking that happens anymore. The conversations are very A to B, like compared to where they used to be. Because improv used to be all the time in my childhood. We'd talk about what we were hiking up to go do, and hell, we were going to Mars and Pluto, right? And now it just seems like, and I'm not trying to, maybe it's not tense, but it just seems like it's more pointed conversations. We're just, hey, here's what we're working on, here's what we're doing, and there's not a lot of fun in them. And kids can have a lot of fun by communicating.
They can, and I think a big, whether you want to call it a tractor or an addition, we've got kids on their screens so often. We have people interacting.
Oh God, yeah.
Sending, as I think they call it brain rot, these messages back and forth that don't really have much substance to them. Not to say that it's bad or good, but I think that there is something to be said about this.
Yeah.
This communication,
You're right.
this eye contact that we're sharing here, and I think that only exists if you're present, if you're staying here, and your phones are away. And I want to try to foster that, because there is imagination, there is creativity, and that's a wellspring in kids. But is it being dulled and blunted and cut out by? Yeah,
I think so.
I don't know. I don't want to.
Totally.
Well,
bandstand or get on my
I do.
soapbox too
I know
much,
I do it all the time. It's 100% fact. And to me, we're losing critical thinking day by day, and there's no way to look around it. The more that we're on these screens, it's become such a shortened world, because we're just wanting the information that we want to see and we move on. But that's not life. Life, you're going to have conversations that you don't want to have and hear different things you don't want to hear. And how do you communicate when that comes to you? Now, with improv, is it? To me, improv is so much more than just improv, because it teaches so many critical thinking components, because I'm sure that you're thinking 3 steps ahead of me right now just because of the improv training you have.
Well, we do try to stay present in the moment.
Right.
There is a massive amount of reaction. What am I getting from you? What am I getting from you? What is your body position saying? Are you engaged with me? That can only exist if you have 2 people that are under the agreement that we are going to do this together. And if there's an audience, if there's not, whatever it may be, it's happening now, never to be seen again. And so there is a a lightning in a bottle type situation. You had to be there. Did you see that show the other week? Oh no, I didn't. It's kind of like explaining a dream sometimes, an improv scene, because it's like, okay, I wasn't there, but I'm sure it was funny. There is something to be said, I think, about live theater that can't be captured, shouldn't necessarily be captured on a camera.
Right.
That, oh my gosh, did you see that? Did you feel what the audience felt whenever, it had the turn or whatever? I think that is just so, the special part for improv for me is those moments that are like, had to be there.
And Kevin always includes improv as part of auditions, whether it's a musical or a play. And I've really globbed on that. I don't do it all the time. I'm more about the method and the characters layers of that. That's my forte. But I have to say it's brilliant because I love to see 3, 4, 5, sometimes 5 people working together. And even in the improv, it separates the men from the boys really quickly. You can tell who can play off people and who's really in it, who will stretch, who will be foolish, who will do something, and who's like, I don't have
What was that
lines,
show?
so I don't
What
know
was that show? Whose line was it anyway?
Yeah.
Whose line
yes,
is it?
that's
Yeah.
a great show.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Now, did you ever watch that before you went to improv? Did you watch it first?
Growing up, Whose Line Is It Anyway started in Britain in
Long time ago.
1988.
Yeah.
And Comedy Central would play those reruns. And as a kid, I would watch that and see these people make all this up. Whose Line Is It Anyway is definitively short form.
Okay.
It is games. Yeah. Here's the concept, make I don't know, what's your listener base? Are we able to refer to?
I mean, you can, what do you mean, like how old are they?
Well, there's a game that I always try to use as an example when we talk about improv games. There's a game called Whoopee with Me. Whoopee with Me is like a broken banana. It's not appealing. So that is an example of,
gotcha.
Right?
Okay.
That's a short form little pop, and that's it. My field of expertise, if I can toot my own horn, is long form improv.
So what is that? That is fascinating.
So short form, 1. Long form, get a suggestion of anything at all from the audience. And then my team and I, whether it's another person or 8 other people, we are going to do scenes. We're going to have different games where everyone is involved. Games as in group games. We're all working on something together. And from the characters, from the themes, from the experiences that you have about pineapple, if that's the suggestion, what are we kind of starting to brew together to make this its own kind of piece? It's a piece.
So I think that's so. Is it different than like in movies and TV where they have those improvised scenes? Is that long form or is that short form? I hate to put you on the spot there, but like there's so many shows that are all improv based that I had no idea about that, or they had an idea but they just took it and ran with it. Would you consider that short, or is that more of a different type of improv?
If you're watching something on TV or in a movie, there's a high likelihood that was scripted in some way, and maybe they had an extra take where they riffed a bit. But for the most part, in terms of the long form improv pieces that I'm familiar with, it is a one and done, and they are 4 to 5 minute long improvised scenes. For good or for worse. You're in it for a while. You're not going to pull the ripcord because you've got an audience keeping an eye on what's happening. They're picking up their little things, and then maybe later that character comes back with another character from another scene, and then they make those connections. And there's a lot of work that the audience does in their head to say, oh, this makes me think of this, and oh my gosh, did you see that they referenced this thing that I'm knowledgeable about? So to take it all back, I think. Trying to record an improv scene and fingers crossed that it's going to be good and funny, I think is a little bit of a folly. I don't think that we start out to do that. If you're going to riff and if you've got a script that you can maybe play off of, I think that there is, things that you can capture that are bona fide for audiences.
And sometimes we end up doing it if somebody's gone up on their lines and we just create
that's what I was kind of getting at.
Keep going. I've done that with several leading men in my life. But I really appreciate appreciate that because there is a new book out about the West Wing, which, I
Great
had to
show.
go
Yeah, that's a
run and get that. But they did say, even in the audition process, that they started playing off each other. And they said it just emerged that, he's the president. I mean, it just was so clear that these two men understood each other and developed a character. And then Donna comes in and she's like, she's the Girl Friday. And then we have to have the press secretary.
Yeah.
And they said, really, we just were going with our idea of the material. And Sorkin just said, they really don't need a script. I mean, they did have a script, but it was their ability. And John Spencer had lots and lots of improv work. I know that.
That's really and just fascinating to me on how all that comes together. And now, Alex, what are you trying to do at Alton Little Theater? Because I've been kind of rambling here for 20 minutes. Sorry, man. But what are you trying to? Because this is really cool. But we're talking classes, correct?
Well, he's going to be one of those resources for us. It's not at the theater. Yeah.
Yes. This is cool.
He's going to make his mark on his own, and I'm just supporting him.
Okay.
Because we don't have the room or the time in our schedule.
But the Alton Little Theater does have the people. They do have the reference, what have you. I'm in the process right now of securing a space so that we can get some classes off of the ground. My ideal situation would be having a class of 11 to 18-year-olds, younger kids starting with these concepts. There's a lot of play. There's a lot of just going with it and trying these fun exercises. And then 18 and up, still kind of the same vein, but we can dig more into, what it means to have a scene that they've got some emotion to it, things like that. So having those two tracks of younger people, which there's a lot of young people in this area who I'm sure are interested in this. And then in the same coin, we've got some classes for the adults that might want to sharpen up their skills or try something
It would help
new.
them stretch. Yeah. And downtown Alton, you're looking at some space.
Downtown Alton is where we're finalizing some things. Hopefully all is well and we can aim towards end of September, beginning of October. I do have a Facebook page opened up for just getting people
called?
who are interested. It's 1117 Studio on Facebook. There is a link to a Google Drive that you can fill out, give me your information, how old is the person that is interested. And then as things progress, whether they're in Alton, whether they're in Edwardsville, whether they're out in Troy, Collinsville, I want to hopefully find some ways to get these people in the same room together, starting with Alton, and seeing what we can do to expand. I did do a little bit of work with some students at SIUE just before the summer, which was really exciting. They are theater students. They have the chops. Let's get them into some unfamiliar territory with the improv. But right now, nothing is solid. I don't have any specific dates for anything to start, but I'm hoping to get a base of people, and then as those dates and the space makes itself available, we can say let's go. But it's going to be 8 weeks, probably for the younger kids. 2 hours a class, and try some different things, and parents are invited to come check it out. But
and as soon as you have the date and the location nailed down, just yesterday I heard from a man, Christopher Plotz, who's been active with us with other theaters, and he's now in charge of this consortium in St. Louis that they will list everything going on. And I knew we were doing this today, and I said, and we can also link in to that information. So
no, totally.
When people really want,
that's right. I was just looking for your Facebook page on. But what I think's really cool, man, is that there's so many times we always talk. There's always these facilities, and there's always these different camps and coaches and tutors or whatever instructors for improving your baseball swing or maybe being able to improve your 40-yard dash time. But there's not a lot for performing arts when it comes to these type of opportunities, in my opinion. And the reason I say that is because performing arts is just as important, if not equal. It's equally important as it is with sports, but there's not as many opportunities. So let's get some young kids to have some opportunities here locally, like going to improv class at a young age, or being familiarized and going through teenage life that's already awkward by going and using improv as a tool to kind of get through it, because teenage life's hard. You know, and to develop those things and to really have some of those fine-tuned opportunities, you can't go wrong with that. I mean, the art scene needs it as a whole. It's not really just a localized thing. It's a regional issue that needs to be addressed.
I hear that. I think the confidence that comes with knowing that you can stand and hold your own, or the rolling with the punches of where's this conversation going? I'm not quite sure, but I know that I can hang because we're just trying to be people to each other. I'm again, I think it comes down, if I can boil things down a bit, it is the reactions. Are you engaged? Are we making eye contact? Is my scene partner offended by what I said? Are they in love with what I said?
What happens if that happens? I've always been fascinated by that. What happens if someone takes, like, in wrestling we call it a potato. Like in pro wrestling, if someone hits me with a potato, you know, I'm going to be giving you a receipt back. But if someone says something that's a little bit too close to reality, or maybe something that hits a little home, how do you guys kind of react with that? That's fun.
I think there is just a natural inclination sometimes to have a fight, because fights can be fun and can be funny. Okay. But I think a true improviser would take that and maybe try to plumb the depths a bit. What about it is making you upset? What did I do? You know.
Okay.
I think again, fighting much like pro wrestling is probably the base that we're going to start from. But if you are a talented improviser, you can spin that and it can become the new game that you, oh my gosh, I can't say anything to make this person be happy. They're going to get offended at everything I say. Or there's just a lot of little flourishes that I think as an experienced improviser you kind of learn over the years. And I want to say one of the big things is, you don't have to be the star. You don't have to have the spotlight the entire 20 minutes that you're on the stage. For me, as a aged improviser now, it's how can I make you look good? How can I make you look? How can I make the thing that you brought to the table? How can we make that be the best thing that we can?
And I saw that 1,000 times from him in Oliver's, because again, I watch very closely. But I want to talk about Four Poster for a minute.
Oh, okay.
Because I know the lines drove you crazy. I mean, each of them had like 600 lines.
Oh my gosh.
And it was only the two of them. But when I came that first tech rehearsal, I was like, they're going to be okay, because they were so engaged. And the audience totally bought 45 years going past, because the way they responded to each other, every physical nuance of how they touched each other, how they connected, looked, didn't look. I mean, you had a brilliant partner in Carolyn.
Carolyn was incredible.
But you were excellent, because we went from thinking, oh, what a good guy, to, oh, what a bastard he is. And then back to, well, I kind of feel for him now. Don't kill the kid. You know, and then, you know, coming back together, which was real marriage. I mean, it wasn't my favorite show. I'd seen it on Broadway, and it wasn't my favorite show. But with these two, who I love, both these people, they're two of the best actors I know, I was like, that's what a real marriage is. And I know that was because of your presence. You were always present to the age, the time, the relationship. And that's what acting is. It isn't just memorizing the lines. It's being present in that space.
Well, and the thing, and to me too, Lee, it's really nice to know that there's, you know, younger people, because we've talked about this before, of having passion in this industry to keep the arts going, and to know that Alex is here, we're looking pretty good. Hey, we got to pay a quick bill real quick, because it's 9:40 already. We do it every time. Hey, before we do that, you need to go to altonlittletheater.org and pick out what shows you want to go see. I know Christmas Carol's on my list, because that's my absolute favorite show of all time. And I can tell you this, when you go see the Christmas Carol, you aren't going to pay $800 to park one of your tires in a broken down parking lot. When you go to Alton Little Theater, it is one of the nicest spots in town, and we all need a couple hours of escape right now anyway. I mean, get out of here with this national news that's hitting you in the nose. Turn your phone off and go pick out a performance that you can take you and your family to and enjoy by going to altonlittletheater.org or by calling the box office office in an hour. Give Michael some time. 618-462-3205. Get over here.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trumped. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
Ready for fantastic deals? Head to Village Dispensary, where every day is a celebration. Start your week with 25% off Dog Walker pre-rolls on Monday. Tuesday, enjoy 25% off Divs gummies. On Wednesday, enjoy 30% off Nevada pens. On Thursday, it's 30% off CQ sodas, margaritas, and more. Friday, enjoy 3.5 grams of Megatron by NGW and Cronuts number 4 by Paul Bunyan for $25. Visit villagedispo.com and shop now.
Life's better when you're under the American Family Insurance roof because they know your house is home base for their dreams. Whether it's a kid like me aiming for the big leagues, ready? Future rocket scientist, or a budding prima ballerina. When you feel totally protected, your family's free to pursue their dreams. She's good.
Let's go.
American Family Insurance.
Get paid to go solar.
We're not solar bros. At Grid, we're solar pros. We explain the process behind solar power so you can make an informed decision. We'll work with you to make owning your power as simple as possible and affordable with zero down financing and payment options. Our only goal is to save you money. Call Grid when you're ready to be independent of the power company.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
No.
And I'm like, I can't find one. I need one.
I got you covered. Got you covered. My dad used to play the 8. I swear to God, we get off the bus every day, and my dad would cook, and we'd hear John Denver's 8-track from about a half a mile down the road.
Somewhere around 1980. I don't care. I just need
Gotcha.
an 8-track. I'm down to like 3 props I can't find.
Well, we got you covered. The Nasello's got you covered on this one, Lee.
All right.
So I got to ask you this before we dive in, Alex, to all that you're preparing to do. Who is the greatest improviser in terms of movie and film? We aren't going to do any music improv, because that's a lot different. But for movie and film, who do you think would be the greatest improviser in your humble opinion?
Well, that is quite the question.
His former professors are going, is it me? Is it me?
Well, spending time in Chicago, I got to not just see but work.
I bet.
Under a number of incredible improvisers. The number one person, and I'll go a step further. I'll give you a duo. There is a world famous improv duo called TJ and Dave. If that resonates with you in any way or your listeners, it's because they are that good. TJ Jagodowski is an incredible improviser in his own right, but you may remember him years ago from the Sonic commercials, where they had the two gentlemen in the car.
Yeah,
he was the passenger.
I'll be darned, man. That's cool.
He's just an incredibly nice, kind man, and one of the best in the world. And then his partner, Dave Pasquesi, has been in a number of movies I'm sure you've seen. He Groundhog's Day.
Oh, yeah.
He was also in a number of Marvel and Star Wars projects over the past couple summers. So the two of them combined have been playing with each other for
I love
25 years.
Wow.
And that bond, that understanding, that connection, that friendship that you have before you walk on stage, it shows when you are taking care of your scene partner and taking my crazy idea and making it be the best thing.
Isn't it wild though that like for the general public, this guy that's just sitting in the car at Sonic, you know, ordering a slushie, you know, with all the different combinations or you know doing all that, is actually one of the greatest improvisers out there? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? No one would know.
We always remember those commercials. Think about the
True.
Super Bowl. We watch it for the commercials.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's some that you're just like, oh no, don't fast forward. I gotta.
Right.
It's so funny. And this is a strange segue, but I just want to know this year. And have you ever watched So You Think You Can Dance?
I have.
Okay, so in years past, it was all like different choreographers and a lot of like different styles. But this year, for the first time, the only reason I went back is they were incorporating improv into the dance. They had very experienced dancers. A lot of these people were working full time. They just really wanted to make the big leagues. But they gave them a scene and they wanted them to incorporate their own feelings with the dance. And I mean, it was so hard to pick from the 12. They were incredible. But the top 3 people, I can hardly wait to see what they do because they were so good. And they never verbalized. So it was all nonverbal.
Yeah.
But their faces, their bodies, their connections, it was all there.
Is that improv too?
And it was brilliant.
So is it not just communicating?
100%.
Because that's because I you know, for people that don't know, I mean, we think of improv as, you know, whose line is it anyway and stuff, but we don't think of the nuances of how the body position is or how, you know, the mannerisms are. And to me, that seems like, just hearing you two talk, that's more important than that verbiage.
I can say without a shadow of a doubt, it's all part of it.
I'll be darned.
If you want to have two people try to say funny things, listen to a podcast. If I'm paying money to see a show and I've just got two talking heads trying to be funny to each other,
right?
That's not entertaining to me.
Right.
Sure, they might land some jokes here and there, but it's the whole package. What's the body position? What's the emotion that's kind of seething out of this person? That type of stuff. You can't really, you can teach it, but I think a lot of times it's just like, what's the funniest thing I can say? How am I going to get the laugh? And again, through years of doing it, it's not necessarily about what's the most funny thing said in the show. It's what people remember. What did they walk away from? Seeing me, you know, if I've got a box, have the box have some weight to it. It's not just, you know, if there's a lot of just physical, you know, you're working with object work and making things up that aren't there. Make it feel real. Don't just walk through the stove because you made the stove and then you walk right through it.
Right.
Let that be something that you come back to and the audience can say, oh, he was cooking on the stove earlier and now they're back at the stove. That type of stuff I think is the magic of improv. It's not there, but you can feel it. You can see it, and we're all experiencing it together. So don't just limit yourself with your brain power of what jokes you can come up with. What is your character as a whole bringing to the table? What's the body position? What's the movement? How do they get from point A to point B? And how does it affect you as my scene partner? It's all part of the package that comes in a good scene.
Well, so time for the hard question. Emmy-winning writer, Alex Trepka. What did you win the Emmy on?
So a number of years during my time at SIUE, I was under the incredible tutelage of a professor by the name of Corey Byers. Corey and a group of like-minded students like myself, we worked on a video that just so happened to have one of the world's famous Hollywood announcers. His name's Don LaFontaine. You may remember him from in a world. That type of. He recorded a script for this piece that we made, so we had this dynamic. It was about Corey being a teacher at SIUE. Different interesting cinematography, and we incorporated other professors from the university, and it was just this like action movie for Corey Byers. That was submitted to the St. Louis, Midwest Regional Emmys, and as a student, that was kind of my first foray into what it's like to be at an Emmys award ceremony. And I still have the little statuette at home. So it's
nice.
a small thing that kind of started this
It's really cool.
You can be creative. You can get together with people who want to have something come out of this too, and you don't have to do it alone. And I think
think there's more projects, at least, because I go to Pleasant Frontenac, because it's an art house.
Right.
I like to see how the students making films, but when I knew that about you, I want people to know there are outlets, and you don't have to live in California, and you don't have to live in New York.
No.
So I think that's a great story.
And I read recently that St. Louis, the state of Missouri, is putting more money to have productions happen in Missouri. So being right across the river, it's a no-brainer to want to get plugged into those communities. But the point of a whole group of people coming together to make this project happen that had success was that it's a lot harder work to do it alone.
Oh, yeah, totally.
You need someone that can be your cheerleader. You need someone that you can lean on. And Lee, I want to give you some love because you've been incredible, making the experience with Alton Little Theater be incredible. And to have the support and trust. There's a lot of trust that goes into getting actors to represent your theater for that particular season or that particular show.
Yes.
I'm so thankful that you've been so sweet, and I think it's just continues to pay dividends. Having a friend that's in the know, has been in the industry for as long as you have, and knows the pitfalls and maybe can point us in the right direction. So thank you for all the kind words.
But see, I love this younger generation. This helps me feel good about passing the torch, which I know has become so political.
But no, well, it has. But
I was saying it before they were saying
you didn't lose all your donors. I did not. Anyway, I'm in trouble now. But what I think's cool, Lee, is there's a reason that I think that there's success, and because your success doesn't just happen now because a bunch of young people are here. You've been doing this for decades, and now all of a sudden these generations that have been talking all of a sudden are ready to go. I mean, you definitely set the tone, and we still got more to go. She ain't going nowhere. She's still got a year of Theater Thursday to do.
Breaking that mindset, I hope for the whole region, we're not a closed set. We don't just precast, just our friends. I've worked so hard to have it be welcoming and open and looking for talent. And I love to have people who come, and even their first, second, third production, I'm like, wow, did we luck out with that person?
Right. Well, and honestly, as we're just getting back into this, are you part of any performances coming up at Alton Little Theater that we can plug? Did you?
We just closed Oliver, which was
wonderful.
My first time working with kids in that capacity.
I heard nothing but rave reviews. Man. Seriously, all across the board, I heard it was fantastic.
It was good?
It ended up being very rewarding. There was a couple weeks that I was like, oh my God. I mean, it had 17 big production numbers.
Right.
Yes.
He played 4 or 5 different characters. Everybody played. The wigs, the costumes, the quick changes, and the kids.
The kids.
They were good, man.
Kids.
Incredible.
But they learned. I was amazed.
Did.
And they actually learned the steps at their lines before anyone else, and they would correct the adults.
Yeah.
I'd be in jail. But
they were good kids.
Right.
They had credibility.
Well, on the show, they were wonderful. They came up here and were so respectful. And, I wanted to ask you if it's okay, what age groups you're working with? Because we haven't really talked about the classes, but we want to do some write-ups on this and make sure that there's some age groups that are maybe interested. They can reach out. Or what are you looking to do?
So my target, I think, is probably 11 and up.
Okay.
I think younger than that, I think they're just a little bit too wet behind the ears still.
Yeah.
Not to say that an 11-year-old has an incredible wealth of life experience, but I do think that they're a little bit more emotionally intelligent, perhaps. And I think that they might be more open to jumping into stuff without necessarily knowing what the end result is going to be. Again, I think 11 to 17 studio is kind of the number that I'm looking at, just because we know they're probably ready to try some different stuff than the younger kids.
I'm throwing something out here, but to me, I've always known too, and just talking to some of the folks that I've talked to over in St. Louis, that a lot of corporate offices use improv as kind of like a team building, or maybe even just a relaxing kind of bonding experience. Would you be able to offer that?
Absolutely. I have done it before.
Sorry, I'm just throwing ideas. I didn't mean to add your...
if anyone's listening, that is absolutely... There's a massive opportunity, especially with some of the bigger corporate interest in St. Louis and the surrounding area. 100%. That let's take an improv class, or let's do... an hour, have somebody come in and do some exercises. It's absolutely something I've done before, and I can certainly whip up again.
That'd be awesome, man. Especially because to me, there's like even sports teams that need that, because they're going in, they're all tensed up, and they don't know how to communicate. To kind of
the city council. Let's try that.
I just got out of the hot seat, Lee.
I know. I'm sorry.
No. But you're right, though. I mean,
I know those meetings.
Oh my goodness, Wednesday was rough, but it was. That's what I think is so cool about this, and what I think's even more important is, you can always say, we can always say things. We can always say that we want to be this community hub and we want to elevate artists and we want to, but unless you're actively doing it like you're doing, it's really cool, and it's a testament to Alton Little Theater's overall mission, because it's not just to be the one place where you gotta just come through us. It's providing opportunities in a different facet and providing resources, and that's what I think shows that you're a true community partner.
You. But that's, and I'm so pleased to know, because you'll be receptive then if Alex can get the exact time and the location. I want to encourage him to do a press release that will forward to all of our media resources. But I know here with your 27,000 people,
72,000 in the morning.
Oh, 72 in the morning. Okay. Ooh. Gosh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to slight you.
No, that's for the email.
The email. Yeah. Okay, the email's blast. I said,
no, you're right on the first one.
Okay. I thought that was right when Mike told me. But I thought that's the way to get the word out. And that's why I wanted you to me.
Why don't we do this? I would love for you to plan a video improv day for me for 30 minutes. I don't know how we'll do it, but we'll do it. But let's do like an improv segment and just have some fun with it whenever you do your press release, so that way we have some marketing behind that and can make it fun. I like how the show works. It's just kind of like we're brainstorming business on the air. It's so good.
I'm a bit remiss that I don't have a thing to present today.
I just wanted to meet you.
Due to the scheduling.
No, I wanted to meet you, Alex. I didn't wait. I can't put you on the hot seat until I say hi first.
But I wanted to acknowledge you talked about pro wrestling.
Yes.
And I'm also a big pro wrestling fan myself.
I remember that.
So maybe there's something that we can rub two sticks together, and maybe we can do like dueling wrestling promos or something in character, because there might be some improv in there.
You tell him my character? Dick Douglas.
Dick Douglas.
I'm a politician in pro wrestling. Dick Douglas. Dustin Rhodes, the old Dust, taught me the character, and my slogan is everyone needs my first name. And that's it.
What's your finisher?
My finisher is called Post Closed. It's a little bit of a cross of a pay dirt. Come down.
All right.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, see, I love his bios. Even his bios are entertaining in the program. And I'm like, what?
That's what it's all about.
Yeah. But I love it, because some people just write the same.
Do you have a timeline for us to kind of make sure we can kind of stay tuned on what you're, because, man, we want to keep talking about you and make sure the community rallies.
I'm aiming, just with some travel I have coming up, I'm aiming for October. Okay. That's as quick and easy as I can say. As it stands right now, as long as we can lock in the space, get a blast out, and this isn't going to be a 50-person.
No,
be
but it needs to be smaller though.
Yeah,
I think. I think
and
for this.
Be here.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a real asset to have this as a resource and for people to know about it.
Well, you're right, and to me, the whole thing that we got to keep stressing, I think, as a community, is with all these new changes coming in, with new buildings, or who knows what's going to happen with any of those, but with this identity thing that we're going through, we need to recognize our arts, because we have a renaissance going on down here. People haven't realized we have wonderful painters and crafters and musicians and individuals in entertainment and theater that are wonderful, and we got to capitalize on that. And by you add these components and you just keep growing the wheel out, and that's how you do it, because we really are in a mini renaissance. I've said that for a year now.
Well, I'm so excited to not just be here today, but to have the ball start to pick up a little momentum. And I know if people are interested, there is 1117 Studio on Facebook.
Is it numbers or letters?
I'm sorry, numbers.
Okay, I wanted to make sure.
1117 Studio. From there, there's a Google form that you can fill out to give me some information about what you're interested in. And then from there, we'll be in contact as things progress. So I will do my due diligence to get things locked down. And as things progress, I would love to come back on, get that press release rolling, and get it out and into the air.
Because people listen to his show.
Yeah.
Thank you.
They do.
Thank you.
I know, because they tell me. I heard you.
You know, it took me this is funny. We have about a minute. It took me literally about a year to tell people, folks actually do listen, I promise. But it's because we have great content like Lee Cox on the first and last Thursday of each month. Lee Cox will be joining us next Thursday, which is the 5th of September.
Correct.
Because I'm seeing ELO on the 6th. I just got my tickets sent in. Very excited.
Okay.
Very excited. And I'll still be at work on Friday, really angry and probably miserable. But that's okay.
It always seems so weird that we're week to week, and then we're like, okay, now we have 3 or 4 weeks we don't see each other.
Right.
So I always have to figure out, okay, when do I talk about this?
Well, Alex, best of luck, man. You let me know how it goes. Lee, I'll talk to you next Thursday, and I know that we have... is there anything we need to promote right now? Any auditions going on, or...
Well, you said A Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
Those auditions are the last 2 Saturdays of September. Both Saturdays
Are
at
you
10 a.m.
serious?
Yes.
Coming up.
Because holidays are a big time.
Oh, man.
And,
it's coming up.
because we're cast through October. Rocky Horror is cast. So that's
You got to be
coming
careful
up,
with
and
that word,
12
Alex.
Men. Yes. And this is a season where literally even the most talented actor, you cannot be in back-to-back productions. We overlap so much. So if you're interested in this, then it would have to be the show that was 3 months later or something like that.
Wow.
So that's a little hard to do. But
whoever's out there that want to come to that Christmas Carol audition, I will be there, and I'm throwing down the gauntlet now. I'm gonna have to beat out Hal.
I know you.
But I'm gonna go out for
Scrooge.
You
got to be.
I loved it when I just overheard the conversation, and I love that because, first of all,
try it out.
We're not actually sure. We assume that I wanted that part, but we don't actually. He does a lot of.
I talked to him. He came to Oliver, and I said, "You better watch out, Hal."
Okay. Well, then that's. I love that. I love them both as people, but I want this to be the most dynamic presentation. I want this to be a celebration for the whole community.
No, I'm excited.
You know, I love to decorate the foyer and have Christmas.
Well, no, because I'm getting
everything.
4 or 6 tickets for that one. I want 6. I'm going to buy 6 for that for the family. We're going to go.
Coming with your kids or your grandkids, because you know I've done that. I think that's something that, yes, it's a classic, and just talking about it and doing something special.
They're going to remember it because it's just
instead of buying all kinds of plastic toys and things.
And you can always just go to altonlittletheater.org, altonlittletheater.org. That's right. And you can go and see season tickets. Can you still get some?
Yes. In fact, you can come check out Making God Laugh, and if you love it, and you will, you can flip your ticket and then buy all the rest for $66. Wow.
$66. You know what that gets you in St. Louis? A half of a temp tag that they peeled off in Altima.
And
you don't have to worry about that.
3 other shows.
This is incredible. And the best of the best Broadway series, Rocky Horror Picture Show, the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee, Christmas Carol,
and Women of a Certain Age.
I'm telling you, Lee Cox, I don't know how we always talk for almost an hour. It's incredible, Alex.
It flies.
I'm telling you.
It does.
We're rolling over to top of the hour. hour, 10:02. It's 84 degrees. But before you guys leave, let me just tell you the humidity out there, just to make you feel really excited. Humidity sitting at 80%. It feels like 101 out there. So I'm going to stay in the studio and come right back with top of the hour news on our daily show.
Dream Home Realty Center. Hey, Sherry. Talk to me, Dream Team. We've got showing.
We are Phillips 66 Wood River Refinery. We make the fuels that take us to work and our children to school. We make materials and energy products that allow us to stay connected to each other. We care about the quality and safety of our products because we care about the communities we share. Our employees live our values of safety, honor, and a commitment to act as good neighbors where we live and operate. We are Phillips 66.
You won't find a better health club than Nautilus Fitness Center. More cardio, more free weights and equipment, more classes, a swimming pool, and more. If you're serious about your health and want to make a change, then stop thinking about it and visit Nautilus Fitness Center on Industrial Drive in Alton. Don't fall for the hype you get from the other health clubs. Nautilus is the Riverbend's premier health club. Has been for years and will be for years to come. Get to Nautilus Fitness Center and get started on a healthier new you.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
Ready for fantastic deals? Head to Village Dispensary, where every day is a celebration. Start your week with 25% off Dog Walker pre-rolls on Monday. Tuesday, enjoy 25% off Divs gummies. On Wednesday, enjoy 30% off Nevada pens. On Thursday, it's 30% off CQ sodas, margaritas, and more. Friday, enjoy 3.5 grams of Megatron by NGW and Cronuts number 4 by Paul Bunyan for $25. Visit VillageDispo.com and shop now.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Welcome back. Here we go, 10:06. And great to have Flora and Sheila back in the studio. Divine Kinship, Animals as Carriers of Divine Love, will be discussed Thursday, September the 5th from 1 to 2 p.m. at Riverbend Yoga, right down the road at 100 West 3rd Street. And to have you both in studio again is always a great treat. How we doing?
Good today, CJ. Good today.
Good. Sheila, how are you doing?
Well, thank you.
Good. Well, this was a really fascinating conversation the last time that we had it. So many people weighed in and really enjoyed what you had to say. How did your presentation turn out?
It went well, and so people have been asking, and so we're starting up our series of 3, which starts a week from today. That's why we're here.
So, for all of you at home, the 3 series come your way September the 5th, October the 3rd, and November the 7th. And I really think that this is Very fascinating topics, because what you're discussing is something that I think that 99% of animal owners, whether it's because I don't like the word pet, I think that we just have animals and they're our friends, and
They have us.
yeah, I feel like I'm more of my dog's pet than anything else. But what I think is really fascinating is you guys are bringing something up that everyone has talked about in some facet, where that bird flies over here every day, and I'm telling you, it knows something. Like I had this conversation. I don't know if I told you this with before my grandpa would passed away. He would go out and we'd smoke cigarettes, and that's where our kind of time was, just to relax until
bonding.
Because all of a sudden all these squirrels kept coming up. And he had these squirrels almost in the damn house, just coming in for saying hi and grabbing food, and it's like, what is Dr. Doolittle almost, But there's so many times that we have these connections, and like you and I have discussed, and Sheila too, is I think we stunt some of those connections from happening sometimes because of our own brain.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's dependent on personality, honestly, and not personality, but maybe situations or maybe some type of battle. Because I think whenever I get tensed up and I just I'm angry and I'm fighting some maybe anxiety or some depression, that sector of seeing
cuts
it,
off, shuts down.
Yeah,
so true.
Yeah, and that's where one of the things we'll be talking about is how that healing can take place through an animal.
Yeah,
how they know when you're tense, how they know when you're not feeling the love, and they just come in, okay, Dad, let's go play, and you're like, no, I've got things to do, and then they're okay, and then they come back, and they revisit us until we take a step down.
You're right.
Yeah.
Right. And well, this is what I think is so special, because each event or each engagement has a different topic, and I think that's what's really fascinating, because there's no tighter bond than children and animals. When I saw that being the one that's discussed this coming Thursday, not today but September the 5th, you were going to learn about animals and healing, children and animals, and this is really going to be an interesting conversation. Can we go into a little bit of what's going to be discussed?
Well, we're going to ask the questions, of course, that let the participants share, just like you shared your story about your grandfather. There is, and see, that's the thing, is children, and it's interesting you said your grandfather, because I think a lot of grandparents have animals or are with their children with animals, and grandchildren.
Yeah.
Grandchildren, in a way, are unconditional love.
That's true.
Just the way animals are unconditional love. That doesn't happen in many parts of the world unless you have this open love for someone, love them totally without asking any questions. And I would say 99.9% of the time, animals are totally unconditional love to their, I don't want to say owners, to their people.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Because what's interesting, you're right about this owner topic. Because I know folks, and not necessarily anymore, but when I was growing up, there was somebody that had a couple of dogs, but the dogs didn't really like him. They were always next to his wife or, the children, and that was their people. So the owner technically wasn't really their human. You know what I'm saying? It's very fascinating there. And now, when you're discussing this, what can people share in this hour? How is it going to be formatted?
Well, the biggest part is that everybody comes and is welcome. Pets are welcome too, because it is at Riverbend Yoga and they are pet friendly.
Love it.
As long as they're on the leash, that's what they ask about for dogs. Cats, I'm not sure would sit in your lap. Birds, I'm not sure. They'll do what they want. They will do what they want. And then there are stories in this book, Animals Are Souls Too. Souls Too. Everybody. Every being is a soul, and that's the gist of it. Getting to that unconditional part. You are soul, I am soul, my dog is soul, your dog is soul. We're all souls in this world to learn about that unconditional love we talked about, giving and receiving it. And so we talk about how that's done through healing. Somebody, even last time, told a story of healing. Her mother has cancer, has lung cancer, and she was visiting her, and she was spending the night. She's on one of those oxygen things to help her breathe. and she has to sit up because of the illness. And she was on the couch, and our friend who came to one of the talks, she told this story. She saved it to tell this story. And she said that this machine just keeps running so she can keep breathing, and she was asleep. And one night when she was asleep at her daughter's house, their family dog came up and started licking her on the face. And she was deep into sleep and licking the face. And finally she woke up and she realized her machine had gone off.
Oh, wow.
And
that
so
dog...
she pulled in enough breath that she could breathe enough to turn it back on. But if had the animal not alerted her, see, these are stories that people just share.
And they happen all the time. That's what's amazing. You know, it's truly incredible. And, you know, I wanted to bring this up just because we have this on the screen, and I figured it'd be a fun way to do it. You guys are not just going to be at Riverbend Yoga.
Right.
You are also going to be down at the Mississippi Earth Tones Festival.
Yes.
And I don't know if you guys have seen this. This is fresh off the presses today.
September the 21st, it's a Saturday, and so it's like 3 weeks from this coming Saturday.
This is the launch of the official Mississippi Earth Tone Festival commercial.
Oh, I
Looking
love
for a
it.
Fun free day out with the family? Head to the Mississippi Earth Tones Festival at the Alton Amphitheater Saturday, September 21st. From noon to 10, enjoy 100 booths with environmental education, interactive art experiences, and performances, along with great local food and beverages. Emerge in the art, food, vendors, and music, and be heard by celebrating our incredible river. It's free, it's fun, and it's happening Saturday, September 21st at the Alton Amphitheater. How about that one? That wasn't bad, you know. I think that's okay.
That's great.
You can see Flora and Sheila. Are you going to be down there?
I am.
You can see everybody down there by going to the Mississippi Earth Tones Festival Saturday, September the 21st. You guys are going to be there from what time?
Well, the booth, we're having a booth there from noon to 6, but we're also doing a workshop at the Zen Zone.
Really cool. What time?
From 2 to 2:45.
And what will we be doing in the Zen Zone with you?
Well, it's called spiritual stress relief.
Who doesn't need that?
Shoot, I was getting ready to say, I think that's all of us right now.
And it's more than just stress relief. It's spiritual stress relief. And you might ask, how's that done? And I'm like, the reason we call it spiritual is because it has nothing to do with the mind. We think our mind, like you said, I'm tense and everything, is what's shutting it down. Well, yes, that is true. But in order to get above that mind, soul, what we talked about, is the Hugh song. And we share that, and it's Hugh. And we share it at wherever we go. Animals Are Soul, too. We'll be sharing it at the booth, and we're going to be talking about techniques, too.
Well, and folks can pick up some free material as well, correct?
Definitely.
What will they be able to garner over at the Earth Tones?
Well, go ahead.
We'll have a couple of books available, but the one that we're highlighting is there on the, I believe it's
this
relationships.
No, we're doing problem solving.
That's right.
Oh,
wisdom on problem solving.
Really cool.
Yeah.
That's going to be wonderful. And then for more information, you can go to www.hearhu.org. That's hearhu.org. And getting back into Animals as Carriers of Divine Love, September 5th, how many spots are available to go in there?
Do you mean how many people can attend?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we can have probably up to 25 or 30 people. It depends on who shows up. Our largest group has been about 10 before, so it's not a great, it's not... It's like a living room they have there at
Riverbend. It is a living room, coffee table discussion.
It's a coffee table discussion.
It needs to be that way, though, I think. Because I think with more people, it gets a little less true. And not true in honesty, but true in, connection.
Authentic.
Yeah, a little less personal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that. I like this 10 to 15, maybe even bump it up to 20, 25. We'll get in there. You know,
you can come, CJ.
Only if
you're
you
just
would take
down
some
the
time
street.
off.
Put them on a long commercial and a couple of things. Run down and run back.
So I wanted to ask you, you know, October the 3rd is the next opportunity. Is it the first Thursday of each month?
Yes, it's the first Thursday.
From 1 to 2 p.m. at Riverbend Yoga, 100 West 3rd Street in Alton. It's a free 1-hour spiritual discussion. Thursday, October the 3rd, is the second opportunity if you're just tuning in the first time. The first event will be Thursday, September the 5th. Next Thursday, we'll be discussing animals and healing, children and animals, and on the 3rd of October in the Master's Garden, communicating with animals. Now, in this topic, is it going to be necessarily our own animals, or will it be animals that maybe we encounter just
oh, that's a really good question. Because animals being soul, there are animals that come into our life. Like somebody had a cricket that just kept coming. They had this cricket and they kept taking it outside. Another cricket they saw and they took it outside. And they asked me, they said, cricket? I said, well, that's a soul. And she said, and I said, why don't you look up on Google spiritual meaning for cricket? Because there are spiritual meanings to every animal, to every being. And she looked, and it was about intuition. And she told me, oh my gosh, that was the intuition she had been receiving about her sister who had been in a car accident. But I mean, I didn't know. It just came, just looked, and you can do that.
Yeah.
You can take it, like you said, there was the squirrel. Keep coming to your grandfather. Squirrels have definite spiritual meaning, and you go online and you look it up, or you see a raccoon like she has raccoons.
Yeah, we were talking about that. That was fun.
Yeah.
So those are things that you can do inwardly. All animals, anything that comes into your sphere of awareness is there for your spiritual good.
Well, and I just think this is a great opportunity to reflect too, because in these conversations, it's just a good time to hit pause and recognize the little things too, and those little details in life that we always get like this and kind of just walk by, like that dog that has to come back to us 3 times before we're ready to play, and calm down. As we keep creeping up towards this, November the 7th is Animals and Reincarnation. All souls are going home to God. Now, what is this one going to be entailing?
The thought is, not everybody believes in reincarnation, CJ. But the idea is that for those who do believe in reincarnation, then animals, especially pets, they love dearly, can come back.
Mm-hmm.
And there are stories in the book about people who connect with their animals, who have come back, who have passed on.
Yeah, and the way that they recognize them is a particular trait that, one pet might have had, and then this new pet, which is completely different, exhibits that same thing. They might have always had a favorite blanket, and it's in the closet, and they go find it, and bring it, so.
That's really interesting. Yeah. Wow. Well, and it's just a very, very, see, to me, this is a good discussion topic, though, because I think that all of us know, and not just think, but know that there's something else out there, and there's always that next chapter. I truly believe that. There's very rarely do I talk to somebody and they think, well, that's it, the lights turn off and that's over, Right. It's very rare. And the people that I talk to that, like yourself, and like today, You're Beautiful at 3 p.m., or 2 to 3 p.m., where we talk about faith and all these different nuances.
Nice.
They're, you're more full, without being angry all the time. And I think that it shows, when you talk to somebody.
Your word pause is very important.
Yeah.
To be able to stop the chatter, to stop the fear, to stop the anxiety. And you can't always do that if you're not used to doing that. But if you can pause, and to me, Hue is a prayer song. Mm-hmm. It's for any religion, any faith. It's the higher vibratory word for God. So singing Hue, when I'm pausing and in anxiety, it does give me time to go, okay, it's all okay. It's all going to be okay.
Yeah.
But I love the word pause because I would call that a spiritual pause.
Yeah.
And I also call it spiritual reframing. That's part of the technique we're going to do at the spiritual stress release. Is reframing. When you think of something as bad, try to think of something that's good. Right. Which comes with gratitude. And I'm sure your people this afternoon are going to be talking about gratitude.
Oh, all the time, yeah.
Because gratitude, if you can see something positive, even if it's
good point.
That's why people watch. That's why people watch soap operas. Well, it's happening worse to them. Their lives are worse than mine. I'm
You're
serious.
right. You're right.
I'm grateful my husband is faithful to me.
Yeah.
Who knows, you know? But I'm just saying that everybody has their own inner guidance, and everybody has the freedom to that and their right to that, and that's.
Yeah, and the important part is tapping into that when you're just, frantic. It's okay. I'm going to hit my spiritual reset button, whether it's prayer or meditation, contemplation. For us, it's the hue. You just set a reset button.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
it's a good way of putting it. A reset button.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I do.
And if you're liking this conversation, we've already been talking for 20 minutes. If you're liking this conversation, you can stop on into Riverbend Yoga at 100 West 3rd Street, just right down the road, Thursday, September the 5th from 1 to 2 p.m. and have this conversation and discussion on animals and healing, children and animals. Now, if people wanted more information, what's the best way to do that?
The best way to do that at this point, I mean, I can give you my own phone number, but I think the best way to do that is to go to to come to the workshop.
Yeah.
Next Thursday.
Or check it out, it might be listed on ec-illinois.org.
ec-illinois.org.
And whenever you're there, you are going to receive a free copy of a booklet of Ec Wisdom on relationships.
Because we have relationships. It's about relationships with our animals, with pets, with our people.
I love it. Flora, Sheila, thank you so much for stopping by. For all of you, stay tuned. We got a quick commercial break. Then we are talking with the superintendent of Alton Community Unit School District number 11, Elaine Kane. We'll talk about her transition into this new role. First couple of months as superintendent, we'll talk about how things have been, what the plans are, and what's happening in the school district to keep us informed. We'll take a quick break. Daily show on a Thursday. Hit you right after this one.
CJ.
No problem.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible. Covering auto, home, business, and life insurance, our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
For the biggest selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs in the Riverbend, visit AltonToyota.com or stop by their location on the Homer Adams Parkway in Alton. Winner of the prestigious President's Award, Munganast Burkhardt Alton Toyota knows how to treat their customers, and they will help you find the vehicle that is perfect for you. For years, Munganast Toyota has been a fixture in the Riverbend, and now Munganast Burkhardt carries the tradition. New name, but the same great service you've come to expect.
I had an amazing experience with Dr. Haug and her team. I came here when I was 10 years old to get my braces on. Now I'm 28 years old, braces off, and I get so many compliments on my smile. It's helped me thrive in my career as a news reporter, and also as Miss Missouri USA, I took the stage with confidence, knowing my smile was gonna make me look like $1 million. I've never felt better and more confident because of my smile.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
Welcome into this Thursday morning, the 29th day of August. In studio, the new superintendent for the Alton Community Unit School District, number 11, Elaine Kane. Good morning. How are we doing?
Hi, CJ. Thanks for having me.
Well, I'm excited. This is really cool. You know, it's been really exciting for me to see your transition into becoming superintendent because my entire life I saw you throughout the school district helping in a variety of roles. And to be here now is just a really cool full circle moment.
Absolutely. Well, it's certainly a thrill for me, that's for sure.
So I got to ask you this. When did you know that you'd be the next superintendent of the school district?
You know, that's a good question for a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. So I have to tell you, when I first started teaching, you know, I wanted to come back to the Alton School District. I had graduated from college, and it was my hope to teach here. And this was in 1993. The teachers were plentiful and the jobs were not. So I spent my first year substitute teaching in Alton, and then I actually worked a year at Grafton Elementary.
Oh, and, wow.
Yeah, I was hired as a long-term sub there. But then in 94, I was hired in Alton. So I've been here ever since. Mm-hmm. And I've served the district in a variety of roles. And it just to be honest, things just happened and timing just so happened that every opportunity that I had to transition made sense, either for me personally, and in addition, it made sense for the district. And so I've followed that pathway from teaching reading and being a reading interventionist into a literacy coach working with teachers, and then into the director of curriculum, which was a natural fit. And then the timing worked out to where the assistant superintendent position opened, and that was a good fit. And then last year when Chrissy was leaving, it was the work that we're doing to me was so important, and it just meant so much to me that I felt it was appropriate to step up into this position.
Well, and honestly, it's just going back just to that thought, you know, working in all those aspects and all those roles with all these different types of people, it's got to have really prepared you well for this type of job where you're in charge of, or overseeing every different component and aspect of a pretty large district.
Yes. Well, I wouldn't want to do it anywhere else.
Yeah.
Because the 31 years that I've been in Alton have been so just meaningful to me because of the relationships. And this is my home. As you well know, right? I'm an Alton High graduate. Our 4 kids graduated from Alton High School. So it's personal. The work here for me is personal. This is my community. I live across the street from the high school. And so the investment, what it takes to do this job and serve in this role, I think you have to have your heart in it.
100%.
Yep.
And you know, speaking of the district as a whole, because we all know what drew you back into the district growing up here, but as a whole, what draws people from outside of the district that want to teach in Alton? Is there a few instances that you can share from maybe new employees or maybe teachers that shared why they chose to leave their respective districts and come here to Alton?
Well, there's definitely, when I started, when I said teachers were plentiful and jobs were not, that's not the way it is at this point. But what Alton offers, and what people have said to me directly, and particularly people who came here this year, you know, we're a large district, which some people see as challenging, but what we do really well is team really well. And so when you're in Alton, you know that you always have a network of people who are going to be rallying for you, supporting you. You know that if you don't know the answer, you can partner with someone else who may know the answer. And, you know, when you take a group of talented people, everyone has strengths and constraints, right? But when you put it together in a group with a highly effective team, you get really great results. And so it just feels, I think, to what people have said to me is when they're coming from a smaller district, then they realize there's strength in operating on a team that's cohesive, that has the same mission and vision.
Well, and on top of that too, that team's been able to see so many great improvements just even before you took over as superintendent. Your time as assistant superintendent with Christy, the sports complexes and all this huddle system, and the way that you were able to really elevate the experiences of not only student athletes but just students in general, especially in the arts too.
Absolutely.
And I think that's always great to kind of highlight and point out because, even before this role, you were actively working for that as well.
Absolutely. And the unsung heroes, I say it every chance I get, the Alton School Board.
Oh, yeah.
Seven people who volunteer their time because they care about the community and they have the best interests of students and staff and families as a priority in their lives. So they give their time. And people think, oh, well, some people are mistakenly think they're paid. They're not. They're volunteers in Illinois. Also, some people think, well, they go to one meeting a month. I can tell you that they have all kinds of special board meetings. They have a finance meeting every month, and they come and they attend. And our school board, what's so admirable and what makes them, so the meetings so pleasant is they're wonderful listeners. So they'll come to the table and they bring their own experience and their own expertise, but they listen to each other. And when we walk out of those meetings, we're united and we know that we're making the best decision with putting kids first. And so they had the facilities as a priority. So when you think about the sports complex and the high school on Humbert Road,
it's beautiful.
It's incredible.
Yes, it is.
When that project started, I was a teacher at J.B. Johnson Elementary School.
No kidding.
Yes, and let me tell you, I was none too happy because J.B. Johnson was a precious elementary school, and I loved working there as an elementary teacher. And so I had no idea the vision of the board when they moved us out and started to build that high school. But when you look at the property they were able to obtain behind the school and the fact that you have, at the end of the school day, you have kids walking out to softball, baseball, tennis, soccer, track, right there on campus, football practice on campus. And so the property is incredible. And that's just one example of their commitment to facilities that this community can really be proud of.
And then, continued updates. You have the baseball field back there that's getting new turf on it this year, the softball fields, the soccer fields. I mean, those things go a long, long way. And then talking about campus life, you're preparing students that way for college because they're going to have that kind of, at least that footprint of, hey, after school, I know that I'm going up to the locker room for the soccer practice, or I'm going to football to get ready for our runs that day. And then that way you kind of have that, school's the center point, but there's different spokes on the wheel that get you ready for that footprint.
Yep. And
really cool.
Absolutely. And every property, if you walk through the schools and the improvements and the maintenance that's had to be a priority for our maintenance department and for our school board and for our finance department to prioritize those things to keep our schools looking fantastic. It's a huge source of pride.
It is. And then, speaking of the school board, we're really lucky right now because everyone on there is a big community advocate and not just for community, but also big time youth advocates as well. And I think that's huge. But I wanted to talk real quick about your relationship and how the superintendent works with the school board, because I think sometimes as a public, we don't really understand that relationship, and there definitely is one there.
So true. And really, when you asked about my decision to be superintendent, I can assure you that the school board, the members of the school board, were a huge part of my decision.
Oh, I bet.
The trust that I have in that team of people and the example that they've set for prioritizing students in every decision is one of the reasons that I felt safe and secure to step up into this role. But the school board, they have one employee, and that's me. Right? And so they hire me, and then they trust me to make decisions within the district and to manage the team. And so it is an interesting perspective for people who don't work within it, because I think people are like, well, I'm going to call the school board, or I want to talk to a school board member, but they function as a unit. Mm-hmm. So no one school board member can speak to an issue on behalf of the school board. They talk with each other, and then they come forward with a unified statement or a unified response.
And that's the way it should be.
Absolutely.
Because that's really what starts all the different questions, and a lot of rumors start that way because you have someone maybe speaking out of turn or just not in that unified front. You guys have done a really good job of that this year, too. And now, with the overall vision of the district, the next couple of years, I don't know if you have a personal 5-year plan for what you think the district should look like, but you have a vision for some things things that you'd like to accomplish for the board to accomplish and some top priorities?
Well, we do have a plan, and actually we started articulating the plan about 18 months ago. So we're in the second year of what we would consider our district improvement plan. And we, when we name these goals and we talk about how we do business, the first thing we articulated is there are two roles in a school district, and we really believe this to be true. There are those who teach and those who create the conditions for teaching and learning. Okay, so really if you think about it, if we frame everybody's responsibilities in that, anybody who's directly interacting with a student, we consider a teacher. You're influencing that student. They're learning from you.
Yeah, you're right.
Know, right? And so I get an opportunity to teach from time to time, not to the extent of somebody who's taking on the curriculum objectives, but when I'm in the high school or in middle school or any school, I always consider myself having an opportunity to influence and teach. And most of us do have opportunities, but the majority of my time and the school board time and our central office team is setting conditions for teaching and learning. And so every time we make a decision or allocate resources, we're asking ourselves, is that going to create excellent conditions for teaching and learning? Because that's what we believe the students and the staff in Alton deserve. They deserve outstanding conditions. And so we're always, that's our, our gut check, right? That's how we do business. But within the work with our administrative team and our school improvement teams in each school, we really lifted up three priorities. The first one is creating a culture of belonging. So we know that people go where they feel like they belong, right? You're
absolutely,
happy, you thrive when you know you belong. And so we have to be really intentional about creating a culture of belonging for our students and our staff so that they have the assurances that we're all in this together and that they're going to get what they need and beyond. Our second goal is grade appropriate instruction and assignments. So when we say that, we're saying every student, right, deserves access to the core curriculum. So we know the standards are the same all across the United States. So students in Alton are going to be just as prepared as students in any other community and across the United States. So we're constantly checking ourselves, are we teaching to that high expectation? And then the third is highly effective PLCs, professional learning communities, which are our teams.
Okay.
So our administrative team is a professional team, our school board is a professional team, each grade level team of teachers is a professional team. And so functioning as teams, that's one of our priorities because we know that's how we do our best work. So those are the three goals identified in our district improvement plan, and every school improvement plan organizes their work with those three goals.
That's very beneficial for us to know that too, for maybe if we have a little one out there in the elementary portion of the school district, we can understand maybe why some of those decisions are being made and how they fit that overall plan.
Yeah, absolutely.
And getting into where you're at now in society and life, I mean, you're in a tough position now stepping into the role of superintendent. And I'm not trying to, goat you or anything, but I mean, we're in a world of social media where we have new apps every day and new ways that kids are online in some way, shape, or form, sometimes without even knowing. How do you guys as a district and just you personally, how are you looking to combat some of those, maybe outer district challenges that filter into the district, and also just how social media has been playing such a negative role on mental health and students overall?
That's a really good question, and one of the things that I anticipated you were going to ask were our biggest challenges, right?
I just assumed on this one. I shouldn't have done that.
You named it, and it's absolutely true. Anything that's going on out in society walks right into the school with the kids and with our families, and so some of the things that we've talked about and we're doing, we do have a cell phone policy, and we had a cell phone policy in place at the middle school. Students keep their cell phones in their lockers. At the high school, the cell phones make their ways into pockets and into classrooms, and so we've really come out strong with a stronger cell phone policy in our schools, in our classrooms at the high school. So that's something that high school students are getting adjusted to, because we know it's an interference in a number of ways. It interferes with learning, it interferes socially, and people think they're connected when they have the cell phone in their hand, and what they're missing are key connections with the people all around them, right?
Exactly.
And so but we also know research shows that we're addicted to those phones.
True.
And so we're compelled to all of us, right?
Yeah. Every
young
one
people,
of us.
Yep. And so that cell phone policy is really important, and being able to support students through that and be consistent in our expectations there. Another piece, when you talk about social media, and our dependence upon social media as a source of communication. One of our key decisions this year was we felt like we know that we were relying on social media to communicate, but yet it was ineffective, right? Because people are submersed in social media, and what our messaging was getting blurred, and so we have purchased a platform called Parent Square this year. And Parent Square, you can be a subscriber to Parent Square with the Alton School District as a community member, and you can say which topics you're interested in and which organizations you want to see posts from. So we can post in Parent Square instead of Facebook. We can push it from Parent Square. Yes, we can push it from Parent Square to Facebook if we elect to, but Parent Square allows two-way communication with all of our followers without having people who aren't actually connected to the district interfering with our communication platform. It also allows people to RSVP for events. It allows for direct messaging. It allows you to say, hey, I want to get a text or a phone call or an email. You can do your preferred communications. Teachers can use it. Your district can use it, your administrators can use it, your coaches and your advisors for student organizations can use it. So we're really trying to get away from the reliance of drawing people back to Facebook or any other social media platform, right?
Well, we are too, because it's getting to a point now where it's getting really dangerous. Because you're having, like you said, people from way out of the district that have never even stepped foot into Alton that are commenting on things. Because I've seen it, and I click on a picture, I'm like, well, they're from Kansas, so what are they doing here, you know?
Exactly. Yes.
But also from another standpoint, it helps for any extracurricular, that individual, I'm sure that coach or that meeting leader or that organization leader is feeling safer too, because when I coach and work with kids, that's always been the question, is what's the best app for the parents to use? Because I'm never going to talk to your child, I'm going to talk to you. So how can we keep everyone connected to where we make sure that we're all safe? And I love this idea of it because you aren't having any of those question marks anymore.
Exactly.
Really cool.
Exactly. It was a big decision this summer, and we're really excited about it. Now everyone's adjusting to it, right? So we're like, hey, are you on Parent Square? But even if you see a post from us on Facebook, when you click on it, it will put you right back into Parent Square. Perfect. So we're showing people you do not have to be on a social media platform to know what you want to know from the Alton School District.
Absolutely. And then, is that the challenge right now, the biggest one that you think is definitely social media? Or any others that you'd like to share?
I would say anything that's going on in the community that does challenge us to adjust to in the school. But the other thing that's obvious, and we talked about it earlier, and that's staffing. Yeah. So making sure that we have the high quality teachers in some of the harder to fill positions, right? And so there's a ton of people just like me who hired in and are getting ready to retire or have already retired, right? Yeah. And not that I'm getting ready to retire, but they're my age group. And so people are starting to make that choice, and we're not getting as many new teachers into the profession as we would like. One of the factors, and I try to bring this up everywhere I go, is in Illinois, the teacher retirement system currently has a tier 2 for new hires, and this has been going on for years. But right now in Illinois, if you started teaching, you would need to be 67 to get your full retirement. 67. Ooh. Right? Yeah. So you can, we're a border state, so you can go right over to Missouri.
To very competitive private schools, too.
Competitive, and you can retire sooner. Right. So young people who have choices when jobs are plentiful, we're competing in a really tough market right now in Alton and in Illinois.
I will follow you up with this, though. It's been great to see kids that graduated in my class teaching in the district.
Yes,
I mean that noticed. Because there's a lot that graduated from 2017 that are now into that adulthood stage, and I love that, Elaine.
Yes.
That to me is what a community school district is.
And it's been so fun. We say we love to bring our Redbirds home, and so I know I bet I know who you're thinking of, a few of them. And when people reach out and say, hey, I'd like to come home, we're like, come on home. And we are, I will say, our last contract negotiation was the best contract that we've been able to offer. We go back into, we're in our third year of 3 years, and so the board was proud to make a great offer last year. We're doing it again, back into negotiations this year, and we're doing everything we can within the constraints of the teacher retirement system to make sure that we are as competitive as we possibly can be.
Absolutely. And speaking of just, we were talking earlier about infrastructural improvements in schools. I know that the middle school just got a brand new gym, and then that auxiliary gym at Alton High is wonderful.
Isn't it great? Yes, super cool. You were there for the career fair,
right? It was wonderful. Is there any other major upgrades outside of the fields that we already talked about that are planned currently for this fiscal year, or is that a stay tuned?
Well, you know that we just, we had at Gilson Brown Elementary, we removed a portable classroom and put an addition on the back
I
of
did
Gilson
not
Brown.
notice that.
It's gorgeous. It's really nice. And then we did the same thing at Lovejoy Elementary, had a portable classroom that we removed and put an addition on Lovejoy. You can't see them from the curb, but believe me, you can feel it inside. It feels really good because it's given the schools a little space to spread out. So those are finished. The other thing that is in progress, almost finished on, we're in the adding safety vestibules to schools.
Oh,
so
cool.
like at East Elementary is one that you might notice if you're driving on Washington, you might be able to see it from but just a secondary security measure between the front door and the end door. So our guests aren't stuck waiting outside until they're buzzed in, right? They can come in, and then we have that safety vestibule. So 4 schools this summer we were able to add safety vestibules, and we're in the process of continuing on with that.
And honestly, the way that you guys kept Wes safe this year, I mean, honestly, it looks great, because at first, I'm not going to lie, it was a little bit to get used to, but as a parent, I feel a lot safer sending my kid to a game now you're going through security, protocols to go through. I'm serious. Yes. I think it's wonderful. Yep. I think that's a great addition.
Well, any large gathering, I mean, everywhere you go, you're just getting used to walking through those systems, and it's a layer that, our goal is to keep everyone safe as we can reasonably manage. And
that's a good point.
And, so we're not trying to create anything other than a comfortable setting for our guests, but that really is manageable, and it's really it's an important tool that we can afford to use.
Well, and with all these changes now in technology, and now I obviously too the huge need for trade, employees, and I know that they have the Cave in Belleville and all these other opportunities now with the East Alton plant. I know they want to help with a big center. We were talking to them a little bit, but how do you envision curriculum evolving? In the next couple of years, what do you envision coming into the district to give students another chance to learn something new? What are your thoughts there?
Well, you saw in the spring we had what was our first job fair.
It turned out well.
It wasn't like Explore Career Fair. It was like you can get a job walking out of high school. We had 24 vendors that showed up. It was great. And that was in response to what we know is happening in the market, right? People, if students are willing and able to work, there's opportunities for them at graduation, and definitely in the trades and in other industries. You saw it right there on campus. So college is obviously an option, and so are many other things, right? Right out of high school. So one of, and this is, I'll give you a teaser on this, but we are paying really close attention to our career and technical education offerings at the high school. Mm-hmm. And we have a strong program right there on campus. If you know, J.B. Johnson was the vocational center, and we built the high school around the vocational center.
And the welding program that you guys have is phenomenal.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And our construction trades, and we restored our biomed program, so we're back in the business of preparing nurses and people who want to be in the medical industry. But we just yesterday had our first community stakeholder meeting that included students, staff from CTE, and community representatives. We're partnering with the new teacher project, and they were able to get a grant from General Motors. And so we have 4 pathways that we're developing at the high school. And so yesterday was the big advisory group. And so we're just making that really clear for students because, well, how old were you when you started high school?
Ooh.
14?
Yeah.
So when you're coming into high school, you're not necessarily thinking about what do I want to do to make a living, right? You're just like, hey, I wonder what school's going to be like, and it's going to be fun. But we're making those pathways more obvious for students and families because a lot of families don't realize how the labor market has changed and what people can make, the income potential for some of these positions that are open that are understaffed.
Well, that's a really good point, too. And I think family involvement's critical in any student's success. Mm-hmm. And to be able to inform them, but also get them excited for their student in a way that's not necessarily, here's what you're going to do, or here, let me hold your hand, but just, hey, did you try that out today? Did you get a chance to go and see if you could, maybe apply for that biomed program and be a part of it? To me, that's how you really drive a student to achieve more in education and in life.
Well, we had students yesterday, because a big part of it was gathering student feedback, right? Because that's your customer.
Right.
And we had students say yesterday that the reason they came to school was for those pathway programs, because that's when they saw school become relevant and connected to their goals. And so it's a priority for us. Our CTE teachers are outstanding. Our department is a source of pride. And so we just continue to build into that and to resource that and to develop that and to stay abreast with what's happening in the world, because you have to be, what some of the teachers used to do who are still in the program, they no longer do because it's not relevant for students. So
well, and that's a really good point. And one thing I wanted to talk about too before we wrap up here, because I kept you way too long, sorry about that, is I just wanted to highlight something that I don't think a lot of parents realize, and just the public, that every teacher you have is in some way a counselor in some way, shape, or form, because we're big on mental health on this show. I had Centerstone on, we have them on all the time.
Sure.
But there's been times, Elaine, where I've watched people in administrative roles, all the way down to being, janitors and security guards, that are literally being that shoulder to cry on, or that motivation for that student, because they don't have that at home.
Yep.
And so I think it's always really good to talk about that the educators in ACUSD 11, along with the administrators, are playing two roles a lot of the time. And that's what I think is always good to highlight too.
Really noted. And when I say the district's number one goal is creating a culture of belonging, that is part of that work, right? Is to be mindful of that. And I always say, I serve this district with pride and gratitude. Pride because I think education is a noble profession. I'm proud to be an educator and work with great educators in Alton. And gratitude because when I think back on my experience at Alton High School, I can still tell you who made the difference for me.
Right.
And it wasn't necessarily the guidance counselor, but the important adults in each student's lives are within those schools oftentimes. And so we take that responsibility really seriously to pay attention to the whole child, develop the whole child, and tend to the social emotional well-being of our students and families as well. So thank you for noting that, because it is something that we're very intentional about.
Absolutely. And then wrapping up, you already answered the last question with this new app that is not Facebook, but Facebook for the school district in a safer way. But what's your message to the district? Year one, here you are as the superintendent. What's your message today to the Riverbend audience?
Well, I always say Alton is a great place to be. What we know about our community is all we have to do is say the word, and we have people showing up in support of the schools, and it's just a great place to be an educator in Alton. It feels really good. When you said, why do people come to Alton? I think people who are new to the community are just stunned at the network of support that's here in Alton. And so I say we're building on the great things that we started. When I talk to Chrissy Baumgartner, I always tell her, hey, here's what you want to know about the seeds that you planted when you were here, right?
That's a good note,
seeds.
yeah.
And so we're just going to continue to build on great things. And it's been a very upbeat start to the school year. Our staff and students came back happy. It feels really good to have the schools back to life, and I'm just appreciate a chance here to talk about it.
No problem. And Elaine, thank you so much for your time. You're welcome back anytime to share district news. We'll take a quick break here on RiverBender.com. This Thursday morning, we'll continue. We'll wrap up the Thursday that was right after this quick break on RiverBender and Roku. Get Over Here TV.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trumped. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
Ready for fantastic deals? Head to Village Dispensary, where every day is a celebration. Start your week with 25% off Dog Walker pre-rolls on Monday. Tuesday, enjoy 25% off Divs gummies. On Wednesday, enjoy 30% off Nevada pens. On Thursday, it's 30% off CQ sodas, margaritas, and more. Friday, enjoy 3.5 grams of Megatron by NGW and Cronuts number 4 by Paul Bunyan for $25. Visit VillageDispo.com and shop now.
Life's better when you're under the American Family Insurance roof because they know your house is home base for their dreams. Whether it's a kid like me aiming for the big leagues, ready? Future rocket scientist, or a budding prima ballerina. When you feel totally protected, your family's free to pursue their dreams. She's good.
Let's go.
American Family Insurance.
Get paid to go solar. We're not solar bros. At Grid, we're solar pros. We explain the process behind solar power so you can make an informed decision. We'll work with you to make owning your power as simple as possible and affordable with zero down financing and payment options. Our only goal is to save you money. Call Grid when you're ready to be independent of the power company.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Welcome back, 10:56, a little Hank Williams, and man, we got Abby and Tatum in studio. Did I spell that right, Tatum? Did you spell it right? Oh, no, hell froze over. You know, I'm telling you, I mistyped something to show. It's amazing. We got them both in studio because coming up this Saturday, really cool opportunity for all of us to be a part of this. A free workout and smoothies to support the Alton Police Department Canine Program. Abby, good to have you back in studio. How are you?
I'm doing great. I am so excited to be back here. So I at least have to come here once or twice a year. So
That's true. Are you still as busy as ever?
Oh yeah,
good problem to have.
Yeah, we're starting to pick up, and it's doing really good. We really want to just keep going and keep growing. So
really cool. So how did this all come together?
So I just had this crazy idea. I called up Tatum at 7 a.m. in the morning. And I was like,
you answered?
Yeah, she did. I was like, hey, you want to collaborate? Like, didn't know who I was or anything. And she was like, yeah, I've seen your business, and I didn't know much about you, but she was very like open and wanted to go with it.
Supporting women.
Yes, yeah, right.
So we are.
And I was like, what is a good way that we can promote a new business and give back to the community and also work together in a way that they're offering healthy different things, and then we offer fitness, and those go hand in hand. So I'm like, let's do something. And so we just kept going back and forth, throwing ideas, and then we came up with this event, and we were like, let's go for it. So
who did the graphic?
I did.
Good job, Abby.
Yeah.
That's really good.
I know I don't have a professional in that, but it turned out pretty
looked
decent.
pretty darn solid.
Yeah, good deal.
Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Before we talk about the event, let's fill us in on what you guys are all about. I haven't had you on the show yet. New business, 2 months in?
Yeah.
Really cool.
Yep. Really, it's just about being a fresh, fast, and friendly environment. I think it's something new for the whole community around.
Mm-hmm. What do you guys sell? Food-wise?
Food-wise, we have wraps, salads, flatbreads, breakfast all day. And we just had 2 new bowls launched. We have a peanut butter crunch protein bowl with 32 grams.
Wow.
Yeah, and then we have our new fan favorite, the Bahama Mama Bowl.
That's
Strawberries.
cool.
Yeah.
So what's your best smoothie?
Our best smoothie? What's your best fruit? What do you like?
I'm a mango guy.
A mango. So we have a Mango Magic. We have that, the Sunrise Sunset. Those are like our 2 really go-to ones.
It's pretty cool though, right off the bat, 2 months in. Kudos for you though for reaching out too, because not a lot of people do that. They always want the phone to ring for them. You know what I'm saying? And we're in Alton, okay? This ain't New York City. Let's just pick up the phone and work together. You know what I'm saying? Good for you guys. That's wonderful.
Yeah, I just was like, I want to be able to work with other businesses and promote each other, because I feel like that's how you grow and that's how you collaborate and work with other people. It's a team effort, not just like a single solo kind of thing. So.
Oh yeah. Well, and since then, I mean, have you gotten some people talking already? We got a full class?
Yeah. We've had a lot of people very interested, and we just want to keep getting the class going. Like, I think we got like 15, 20 people. We want to try to get at least 30 people. And then also to really promote the new business, and also have people try stuff out, because they're like, oh, I thought they were ice cream. And I'm like, no, they're not ice cream.
A lot of people are still learning that there's food involved with it too.
Yeah. And I feel like on Godfrey Road, we don't really have anything that is like healthy and smooth.
You're right.
Like a lot of coffee. I love the coffee, but we need a little bit of protein, like fruit, like a little health in there, instead of having everyone so wired for their workout they can't ever calm down off the crazy caffeine high.
So as you can see here on your screen, you have some real food options here. I mean, this is pretty good. This is the official website, correct?
This is it, yeah.
Am I? Now look at that. What is that? That looks pretty yummy over there. That's a grilled chicken flatbread
That's
sandwich.
a chicken bacon ranch.
Oh
yeah.
man, it looks good. But see, those are real. That's real food options,
real
like
food.
Abby's saying. It's not the
and
the
everything
roast
is-
beef from 40 years ago.
Nothing's wrong with that. It doesn't mold, right?
That's right.
Yeah, I think all of our stuff is hand chopped, fresh chopped. We get produce every 2 days whenever we do our orders and things like that. So everything is fresh made. Nothing is really.
What's it mean though for you guys to be out and about already 2 months in, and you're doing your first kind of co-partnered event and having some fun with it?
I don't know. I'm actually just really excited to see where it goes. I think this is a great opportunity for both of us to grow and kind of build a little community for ourselves as well. Especially, like she said, like there's not very many options fast food wise for healthy options like that.
Well, and Abby, I just think it's great that you're doing this for a great cause, because I mean, obviously it was just a brutal week last week, and our hearts are still out to so many people. But this is an opportunity for you guys. If you want to be a part of the free workout, you're doing donations.
Yeah, donations. So it's gonna be we're gonna do as many donations, but it is free. And any donations, we're gonna do a free 3 giveaway VIP smoothie gift cards.
Wow, what's that mean? I'm not an aficionado
So the VIP
yet.
cards are just going to be a 24-ounce or food like purchase, but it's free. So we have 3 options or 3 cards for the options of a smoothie or food. For it. So when you entered, if you donate, you're going to be entered in like a raffle. We'll draw 3 names, and then we'll have 3 cards to give away.
Yep. So if you donate, then you get some free things. Then it's also a good way just to support the community in a way where you're getting a workout, a smoothie, and giving back to the community.
So we're going to also bring 3 flavored smoothies, and then I'm going to bring 2 of our new bowls that I mentioned, the peanut butter crunch bowl and the Bahama Mama. But the 3 smoothies, I'll have the chia banana boost, the avocado, and then I think I was going to do the sunrise, the acai berry boost.
Oh, okay.
So those are our 3 more healthier options and more like the natural energy. And
Will they be on site?
Yeah. I'm gonna have them there. So
they're going to be on site.
I'm going to have everything sampled out. I'll have everything there to hand out after the workout.
Yep. So you got to work out, and then you
I don't know about this, Abby.
Yeah, you got to work out.
half the work is just showing up.
That's
right. Yeah.
What are we doing in this workout?
So we're going to be doing it HIIT style. So that means doing like a full body, different stations set up. It's going to be under time. I'm going to go through each one. I can help accommodate. I can help adjust based on whatever level. I've had a 70-year-old participate at this workout. I've had as young as 10 to 12. You can bring your daughter, your son, whoever. I want to get everybody moving because I feel like that's very important in this community. So we have a long life and we keep thriving here in the area.
How many is this? Do you partner up a lot of times?
No, I just felt like a tug on my heart. I want to start partnering with people because I just want to. I want to help other people and I want to give back. And so I felt like this is what needed to happen. And we went with it. And I just want to keep working with others in a way. So
I love it.
Yeah.
And I got to ask you this, Tatum: are you excited or nervous?
I think both, actually.
You should be very excited.
She's
very excited.
It's okay. She's going to keep hanging out with me and I'll rub off on her.
That's right. Definitely. Now, where are you located on Godfrey Road?
The address is 5777 Godfrey. It's right in the between of Dairy Queen and...
Monticello Plaza there. It's right next to Dairy Queen.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And they also have deals for the college. You guys...
Yeah, we have a discount for the college as well. We have a plaza discount, and then we have military, like EMS and everything like that. We do discounts for a couple different things.
Yeah.
Those are good things to talk about. Let's get them in there and let's get them shopping. Let's get them their tummies full here. And then you work out. No, you work out first and then you do it. See, I'm learning how this works.
I know, right?
You don't want to eat first.
Yeah. No,
we don't have a janitor, right?
Just a bunch of pre-workout, just go ahead and put your nose into one of those containers. You'll be fine. I got to ask you this. You're wanting 25, correct?
25 to 30. I mean, even more. We can accommodate.
I think you're going to get that.
I think if we get more, we could add more.
We can
VIP
accommodate.
Cards. You know what I mean?
We don't want that 25 to 30 to stop anyone because we have a huge parking lot. We have a huge outdoor area. I'm hoping to be outside, inside. And I just want as many people to come. So.
Well, and Abby, you've been on the show for the 2 years it's been on a couple of times every year. But you're doing some good stuff because it takes the change. Because I've decided that we can't just keep waiting for things to happen. You just kind of got to grab it and run. And that's why I went this avenue. But to see you as a business owner actively trying to collaborate with folks and not making it a pay-for-play thing, but just a true partnership and coming together, that's the change, Abby. That's wonderful.
Yeah, I think I was always that type of person that wanted to wait and hear that phone call. And I was like, no, Abby, you got to step out of your comfort zone. You got to make that phone call. And if you want to see the change, then you got to do the work and go for it. And if people say no, that's okay. You might get a yes or a no, and you just keep going and keep working at it. So
really cool. So if you guys want to be a part of this free workout and smoothies to support the Alton Police K-9 program, what time does it run?
It's going to be from 8 to 9, but if you got to leave a little bit earlier, that's okay.
You aren't getting anything to eat.
Yeah. It's going to be from 8 to 9, and if you want to come a little bit earlier, just to make sure you're comfortable with the place and everything, that's okay. We're located at 620 Arms Way, Godfrey, Illinois. We're kind of very close to Bakers and Hale, Godfrey, Walmart. So we're not that far. We're in the Godfrey area. So
really cool. And Abby, we'll have to get you back on again to talk about how just the business has been overall. And Tatum, we'll get you and your husband on, correct?
Yeah.
To talk about everything from Tropical Smoothie Cafe.
Perfect.
But you need to get there Saturday. I'll see you then, but I am well out of time. I'm telling you guys, I'm going to start getting in trouble for these things. It's been a busy week. Hey, I'll see you back here live at 9 for more of our daily show of Village Dispensary, Pierre Marquette State Park, and so much more. I hope you join me then. Oh, and the Alton Amphitheater. On that note, have a great day. Stay cool and try your best, as always, to stay out of jail.